What's going on, everybody? Sigourney Jackson here with another episode of Hoop Politics. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell to stay up to date on everything that is Hoop Politics. So for a lot of y'all who probably been watching NBA basketball, there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on. There's been a lot of people who've been getting injured. There's been Kyrie Irving going missing, James Harden throwing a tantrum and end up getting traded over to the Brooklyn Nets. And then you have a very specific situation that I think that we need to talk about. I think this is going to be really quick, but it's something I need you guys to know. For anybody who is familiar with the roster of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Kevin Porter Jr., who is a 6'6", 6'7" shooting guard. I want to say he's in his third year in the NBA after coming from USC doing 1 year, is looking to get traded or possibly dropped from the roster for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Or I guess I should say the Cleveland Cavaliers are looking to trade him or drop him because of a temper tantrum that he threw when Taurean Prince, who was with the Brooklyn Nets, got traded over to Cleveland, and they decided to give him Kevin's locker. Now, a lot of you guys may not look at this as being a big deal and thinking like, this is stupid, why would I be watching this video? But this right here is a great lesson that I think a lot of hoopers need to understand. Kevin Porter Jr. has only played in 50 games in his career, where he averaged about 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists a game for the Cavaliers. And as you can tell, because it's the Cleveland Cavaliers, they still suck. So he has not made a great impact on the Cleveland Cavaliers up until this point, and it seems like he hasn't really played any games so far in this 2021 season. Now, the lesson that I want to teach here is this. You have to know when you have leverage and when you don't have leverage. I know a lot of people like to think that basketball and sports is fair, but it's not. Were the Cavaliers organization wrong for giving Taurean Prince the locker that belonged to Kevin Porter Jr.? Yes. Yes, it's wrong to do that. He's already been there. Why are you giving up his locker? All that sounds fine and dandy. But this is the politics. The politics is Kevin Porter Jr. has not given a lot to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they have not won a lot of games with him. So at this point in the average mind, he is expendable. Taurean Prince comes from a winning organization right now with the Brooklyn Nets. He's probably a better player than Kevin Porter Jr. is. And because Kevin Porter Jr. has already also gotten into some legal troubles in the past, I'm not going to bring that up because that's his business and charges were dropped. He's already on thin ice. You have to know when you're on thin ice. When you are in a situation where you are not offering a lot to a team right now, and you've already gotten in trouble, your best bet is to lay low as much as possible. You want to make sure that you are showing up to practice early, you are leaving late, you are making sure that you are rubbing elbows good with the team as well as your coaches and your organization and whoever else is making decisions on your behalf. You do not want to get into a position where you are having random outbursts, you're getting upset, you're throwing temper tantrums, because they don't have to keep you. Now, let's look at a flip side. Kyrie Irving has gone AWOL and missing for the better part of the last week or two. But why is it that people are still putting up with him? That's Kyrie Irving. Y'all can't just go and get another guy who's going to get 60 on any given night. Yes, you got James Harden, but at what price? Kyrie Irving could go to any team right now for the most part, and he'll be able to play right away and do what he does. He's already won championships. He's already averaged 20, 25 a night. He's a multiple-time All-Star and the #1 pick in the NBA draft when he came out coming from Duke. He has leverage. He can go and do these things. James Harden, who got upset and wanted to get traded out of Houston and all that stuff, he has leverage. He's a former MVP. He's a former scoring title champion. He's been to championships. He's been to Western Conference Finals. He has his own sneaker deal. He has leverage. You have to know when you have the leverage. This is high school. This is college. This is NBA, because at all levels of basketball, there is leverage. You don't want to get to talking to your coach crazy and you are the 7th man, 8th man on the bench. If you're not a star, if you're not a guy who's contributing big to them winning, or who's putting up a lot of points, or who has a lot of scholarship offers, or whatever it is, you might want to try to figure out what's the best way for you to stick on this team until you can get to that point where you do have the leverage. Kevin Porter Jr., I definitely hope that you do well in life. I hope that you find a team where you're going to be able to play and do what you do best, because I do think that he's talented. I do think that he's elite level one-on-one scorer if given the opportunity. But right now, this is a learning lesson. You have to understand when you have the leverage and when you don't. And when you don't, you have to act accordingly. So this is just a learning experience for him. He's young right now, but I think he's going to do well. So for kids, for anybody who's out there watching, understand your leverage. I keep saying that, but it's so important. Understand your leverage. It is all you have in this game. And when you don't have the leverage, then people are able to make decisions for you. That's why I love LeBron so much when it comes to him off the court. He has the leverage and he's using it to get his way. You can do the same thing, but you have to know what you have and you have to know how to work it. So if y'all like this video, make sure y'all like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure y'all follow the Instagram and the Twitter at hoop_politics. What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think that he's going to find a home somewhere else in the league, or do you think he's going to be overseas eating squid meat somewhere playing basketball and making six figures? Let me know in the comments what you'll think below. And without further ado, guys always control. Peace.